Run to me, Smashing Pumpkins. There we are. End of the music for now. So good evening, everyone. It is 8:44, and again, right on schedule. Welcome back. If you are tuned in today and watched the market, it was kind of a slow market, but I want to get back on the air tonight. I've been just on and off here doing some research. I did get a watch list video out there for tomorrow, and we'll touch base on a couple of those setups. But I wanted to touch base on some crypto stuff tonight. I'll tell you one of the updates I found out on the Bitconnect, which I thought was kind of interesting. I want to hear your take on it. I was just in the process of showing you some of the things that I'm doing. Definitely the cryptocurrencies have taken have made the markets a little bit more interesting. Another way of trading, another way of maybe making money. I left off just talking about the Bitconnect site here, and watching, looking at the volatility and how does this volatility come about? How do they measure this? How do we get paid? Will it sustain itself? If we go back to the whole period here, you can actually see it's been around since 2016, and it almost looks like the volatility is still even more aggressive here. It's been kind of choppy and low back here in 2016, mid part of 2016, and then 2017, as things started getting a little bit more well known, it really started picking up. And over time, they have an average, and the average here, if we scroll down here, let me bring up let me bring up some of these pages here. I got to bring up my chat rooms. Give me a second here. All right. So you have the this is all the calculators and stuff, but here's the volatility of the day. I guess this is the change between one day and the next day, or how much the market has moved during that day. I try to put it together and see how everything lines up. It's not as easy as it looks, and there's some missing pieces to the puzzle, which is I'm always searching for. But anyway, as you can see, the volatility here, they've been paying it out. This last 6 month average has been 0.93% daily. So on average, 0.93%. That means if that continued on, and you put in, say you put in $1,000, $1,010, and we're saying for 299 days. You would your profit would be $3,000, and then that's without your principal. So you're tripling your money right there. 300% return on investment. 300% return on investment in 299 days. My big thing is, is it too good to be true? I'm in the same boat as everyone else, So I'm taking a shot on this with Bitcoin. Yeah, you could call me, Max. So what I've been searching out here is trying to figure out how do they pay this out? How do they come to giving this interest out and stuff? And I think it is what they call a proof of stake method. And I want to go over that with you a bit, because that was pretty new to me, and I did some research on it. And it's where they originally did an initial mining of coins, and they mined all these coins, and they had this initial supply, and then they kind of gave them to the the owners and stuff, and they're getting paid to hold those coins and not sell them into the system. But I want to go over it. I'm not a good person to really describe this, but I want to read you some things that kind of explain it a little bit better than I can explain it by just talking about it. But let me get that up for you. All right. Oh, you know what? I sent it to myself, so I wouldn't forget it. So let me get to my email. email here is ironaction@yahoo.com, ironaction@yahoo.com, or Twitter. We have the Twitter feed up today, so if you want to check in on the Twitter feed, go right ahead. Let me see, where is it? John, I sent it to myself last night. There it is. This guy, Steve Dell, explains it pretty good on this this site here. So I'm gonna share this with you. All right, I'm gonna try to share this with you as I read through it with you. I'm just gonna point out the important parts. Oh, there we go. All right, so it talks about, it's initially posted on Bitcoin Talk in November 2016. It got a lot of attention. This guy knows a lot about it and stuff. Essentially, the Bitconnect service does not, says it does. All right, what Bitconnect service says it does is take your Bitcoin, immediately convert it to Bitcoin into BCC, which is their own token, and pay you interest from their earnings on their trading bot. Interest is paid in BCC, not BTC. Well, not Bitcoin, BCC. The interest rate is very, very impressive. The user reported an average of 1% per day. Bitconnect's projections on interest can be found here. Bitconnect's main business proposition is, we can invest better than you, so give us your Bitcoin and we'll send you income earnings from it. So he goes into talking about it. And first question, let's see here. You know, a lot of these questions. It says, why would you allow a little old person like me or someone to reap the benefits of a trading bot that's paying 1% to everyone? What, you know, they could actually, you know, just rake it in. And then he goes into talking about, when you look at the initial post on Bitcoin Talk, it's obvious they performed a pre-mine to generate 4.8 million coins. On top of that, they adopted a proof-of-stake, proof-of-work system. Proof-of-stake essentially means that you are rewarded interest in exchange for not selling your coins. The interest rates they will reward you are shown before, and this has actually been out in the public. So people are holding on to these coins, and they're getting paid interest in the beginning when they're able. So it goes out to 2019. Right now, they're getting 50%, 8% per month for holding on to their stake. Proof of stake allows them to accumulate interest on their pre-mined coins. And let's assume they kept 2 million BCC from their pre-mine. Their current holdings would look like this. You just have to do the calculations there. If you could generate that kind of passive income, would you ever consider trading? No. Hopefully by now it's clear how Bitconnect is able to provide their users with BCC tokens on a daily basis. They have virtually infinite supply of them due to the fact they have staked millions in BCC, which are accumulating interest on. So in essence, the interest they are paying you is not their returns from trading, but simply the interest they get from their proof-of-stake system. Oh, Boga, I'm a good question. Is it they say that, well, let's go into this a little bit more. Hello?
Hello? Who's this? It's Robert Kaplan. It's Maximillion. Who am I talking to?
Hello, Max. Robert, it's me, Johnny.
It's you.
Yeah, it is me. Good.
I'm listening.
Yeah, turn off your radio. Turn off the thing.
Oh, I got it. Here, let me turn you off. It's really confusing.
Yeah, I almost thought you were another Mexican looking for work.
And now I can hear you. It's normal.
Hey, good to talk to you. Forgot what you sounded.
Good to talk to you too. I was out with some friends the other night, and one of my friends, he's like a real technical guy, and he runs a software company, and he was talking to me about Bitcoin. So what he was saying is that inherently there's a real problem with it. So the reason all these people, data mine them, and then we have percentages and interest is, one, it's not really a currency, and it's not really a business. It's a network.
Okay.
So it's like if you have a telephone, and it's just you who have it, it's not worth very much.
Yeah.
But if I have a telephone, and then RPM has a telephone, each person who has another phone, it becomes worth more and more because it's a collective agreement. It's the same thing with gold. Gold really only has like an intrinsic value of maybe 15-20% of what it sells for. The rest is mutual agreement.
Yeah.
So we really do need a currency like this. The problem with Bitcoin is that it's so expensive electrically to validate the encryption on it and the algorithm to see that it's real, that once it really got going and much bigger, it would take as much electricity to run the currency as it would to power the whole United States.
And we're seeing that now, because every time there is a little flush or some kind of volatility, the whole system calls down. I experienced a delay of almost a day of just having a transaction, very small transaction, just getting stopped. Because, and the way they're setting that up is still like, they actually, being not regulated enables them to charge what they want. The miners or the people who do these transactions, they get to kind of, raise their prices a little, as far as what I could say.
No, everybody's definitely cheating it. But the problem with that is when there becomes a real problem, good luck on getting out.
Yeah. I mean, that's the gamble.
Yeah.
That's the gamble. It's a big gamble, but you're not holding. I mean, I have a little money in the Bitcoin, but I'm kind of just keeping the powder dry to take advantage of a trading situation. But there's no way that I would be like. I'm thinking of all the people out there have like millions of dollars in Bitcoin, and one day it's like you said, it just stops working. Something goes wrong.
Right.
And I mean, would that cause a meltdown in the financial systems around the world? Is there too much involved in Bitcoin now that it would affect the economies?
Not yet, I don't think. But I think before it gets that big, the problem that's inherent in the processing of validating that the Bitcoin, that it will start to be more present and more common knowledge.
Yeah.
And then people are going to want the same thing, but they're going to look for a more efficient currency. And then who knows how that's going to fall out. That's going to be a huge gamble. But right now, you have the mania. And I don't know. I think probably it will continue to fluctuate and provide real trading opportunities.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to really say, I have enough to focus on my trading.
Yeah.
You have real answers. Even trading, I stay short term. I don't like to look too far ahead.
No, you shouldn't anymore. There's no need to. I mean, especially if you're getting the returns you're getting, and just trading well. It's like, why would you even go put yourself through that type of stress? You have a business model, you have a strategy.
Well, I would, because it's fun, but I had the same problem. I couldn't get in and out of the trade, so I didn't want to sit there and I'd place an order, then I would see I didn't get filled, and then I'd have to wait till I canceled the order till that came through, and then I'd place another order, and before I knew it, I was just spending way too much time on it, where I could be trading. So that's kind of what killed it for me, was the lack of liquidity.
So, well, let's get an update from you. I mean, while we have you on here, and you've been posting your trades, I really appreciate that. Maximillion here, one of the best traders on the site.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, we don't get to talk to him too much, but feel free to call always this line. I always have a problem at my house because I don't have Skype set up. But I'd love to talk to you here. This would be great.
Is that where this is, at the house?
No, this is at my office. I can't listen at the house. I can't get Skype going there. But anyway, what's your call for the new year? I know you and Anthony are thinking maybe a pullback in the beginning of the year.
I'm not really sure. Anthony brought up a point about that starting this year we have a tax advantage. So why would people take profits this year? Why wouldn't they take them in January instead of December?
Yeah.
So that's a thought. I don't know how to interpret that, if that's correct or not. So I just kind of, go along day by day and see what the market's telling me. And right now the market's kind of just sitting here waiting. And I assume, based on past performance, that we're just going to continue to go higher.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? It comes down to a point where valuation is thrown out the window. It almost feels like, Momentum's on our side. Things are good. There's nothing overhanging us, that's really pushing this market. The bad feeling in the world, that there's no anything really overhanging us. No wars that are really being fought. Nothing.
Just possibly nuclear war with
Korea
and possible impeachment of Trump, but nothing seems to shake the market anyhow. That's just a testament to how strong the market is.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, and it could be much better. This could be the beginning of something big.
I think we have a couple good years here for a couple reasons. One, we have a global economy that's good everywhere except for England. They fucked themselves, with Brexit. But outside of them, it's good everywhere, and it's the right kind of economy. You don't have inflation, and you have a lot of multinationals, and now you've elected someone who's totally pro-business and getting rid of all the regulations. So it just has to mean, especially now that he's passing this bill, it's good for business. Everything is good for business right now. It's a real sweet spot. So I can't see what's going to change that except for maybe a short-term spike based on some kind of news event or maybe some kind of January selling for profit-taking.
Right.
But, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I think it's a good take. I mean, until you're proven wrong, until something comes out.
Until that's not what happens.
Yeah,
right?
until it feels differently. But that's what it feels like. Yeah.
But it's been an amazing year for me, and since I've been really working with Anthony, I've learned a huge amount. Now, I trade like a lot of common stock, and the one thing I don't like about what I do is that I'm always at risk. Because I always have a couple $1 million in the market, and all my profits could disappear in a few really bad days, and I don't like that. So Anthony, in some ways, has a more evolved way of trading. He's never risking that much. If he got wiped out based on the percentages he makes, he can always come right back to the board. So I've been trading more and more options lately, and today I made 25% on my money on Starbucks.
Wow, that's nice. It was a nice
run. That was going out, and basically what Anthony does is he goes out 2 weeks, and he buys just in the money. So the options move pretty well with the stocks, and I'm just getting a feel for it. So I'm not going too big right now. Like I think today on Starbucks I bought it was a few 73 options. It totaled maybe it was. I'm not sure now, maybe about $8,000 in options, and I made $2,000 on that. In and out, out at the end of the day.
And that's it's liquid enough to be able to just get you out in and out.
Yeah.
Do you have a criteria? Yeah. Do you have a criteria? Which ones you're always doing in the money? Yeah, pretty much the strategy is in the money, close to in the money, and 2 weeks out on more aggressive names.
Yeah, and I get a little more aggressive. I bought Priceline last week. It was probably my best trade ever. I paid 29 cents and 39 cents for it. It was on Friday on the options that expired that day. And I bought it 10 in the morning, sold them 11:15, and I sold them for $2.09.
Wow. Wow.
So,
what got you?
I like cutting it to the edge because it was just out of the money. So as soon as it ticked into the money, it moved.
Well, let's get something really valuable out here to people. What was your criteria to get into Priceline at that time?
I look for chart patterns, and then I look for a tell that tells me that there's real strength in there. So I see a chart pattern I really like or strength in there, and then I see the market pull back, and I see the stock doesn't, or it doesn't, and it holds a prior low, or there's some of your technicals in there to support that.
Yeah. No, I know that. I've been focusing on.
It's that, and I do so many trades.
Yeah.
That I think just a lot of it is kind of intuitive pattern recognition at this point.
Yeah. Well, when you send me something, I noticed that common denominator is, and we started really, almost labeling that 2020 type of trade. That strength coming off the highs, a pullback with that first rotation on the stochastics. It's just a great sign of strength. And that's, I noticed that's your criteria. If I see one, I say that's a Maximillion type of play right there.
Right, you know my deal already. You've seen enough of what I do.
A
lot of them don't go. I mean, yours are better trades. They're more technically evolved. Mine are more like flash-in-the-pan scalps, but you also see me, too. I see strength coming in them. I buy them.
Yeah.
I'm out in 45 minutes half the time.
It's always good to be in something and then...
I'm happy to catch 40 cents or 60 cents. Anthony trades like that, too.
Well, you guys are perfect at that. You guys are doing a good job. I mean, that's perfect. It feels good.
It's a great combination. You know, I'm really grateful to have met him.
I'm thinking of a nickname for you two characters now. Yeah. Hey, Paul and Kim out there, big shout out. They're under the weather, but listening to the show. He's long Bitcoin, 13,500.
Yeah, he's at it all the time. I see he's big into it.
Yeah, he's done so well. I mean, you know what? Just to know when he started, and it was just maybe scrapping for cash to get in there, and now to see how much he has invested in there, it's a testament to how well he did. I mean, even if it does go poof overnight, this was his calling. He says he thinks it's his calling. This is something that he's good at.
Yeah, it's killing me that I can't trade it, that I just can't get in and out of it, but I can't. So Well, and right now, trying to figure out a lot of what Anthony does and trying to get inside his head has been a pretty big job. I'm thinking I'm pretty much getting it at this point.
Yeah.
So, and I'm excited about that because if you're coming to the right thing, you could just. It's good for, I think, your people in the sense that for a few $100s you're in the game.
Yeah. I think it's the right thing. We definitely have to talk more about it. I think there has to be a little bit more of getting everyone up to speed because there's so many times someone comes in and we talk options and a lot of people are just, they don't even know the first thing about options. So we have to somehow get an options section on the site that kind of updates everyone on the setups. But the standard 2 weeks out in the money, good stock. It's very easy to pick the trade. It's not.
There are times you see pullbacks, and it's just good, or whatever the situation, you're about 80-90% it's going to go. So why not at that point, if the stock is liquid enough, offer the options to the people.
Yeah, I'll start doing that.
And it's really not, the options are not that complex. They're a group of numbers. The first set of numbers, 18 is for, 2018. And the second set of numbers, 01 is for January. And the third set of numbers, 15 is the 15th of the month. Yeah. And then it's C or P, whether it's call or put. So I think once the people learn just even that, and then there's your price where you're picking that up, which is right after the call or put signal. So I found it, for weeks I didn't really get it, and then all of a sudden I, got rid of my option thing and just started entering the letters in there. So it's not too hard to really, you're just talking about straight calls and puts. So I think you could get your people to, figure that out pretty easy. I taught Pixie.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't see her.
I like her. She's a good sport. She's got a good heart, I can see.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of the ones who gives the most. Always tweeting out there, always promoting the site. She's not.
I want to thank you. I love the program. It's it's nice being on the air. It's nice listening to you guys. I get a lot of good laughs and stuff. I get another couple sets of eyes. It's really a helpful thing.
Thank you, man. I would love having you here. So it's just like I think it's all coming together. Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to February that we all get together. We'll have a blast.
Yeah, Maximillion will be down at the trade show, so that'll be fantastic. And you're coming up from you're not that far south of me. What was it? Philadelphia?
6 hours.
6 hours.
I grew up in New Jersey in South Orange, Short Hills.
All right.
So I lived an hour from you. I know where you are in the city really well. It's my background. Better than I know Virginia.
You're going to be swamped at the trade show. You're going to have a good time.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you teach your show.
Well, feel free to say.
I wanted to say hello, and I wanted to give you that little input on the Bitcoin to know that they're going to reach a ceiling on it at some point, and that's what you want to be thinking.
Yeah, definitely. I am noticing that. I am noticing the bog down, the what do you call it? The when everything comes to a squeezing in through that small little hole.
And honestly, the way I see it is, I make good money trading. I wouldn't, it's something to have fun with and play with.
Yeah.
Something not to get too serious with.
I thought the same thing today. I was like, you know what? The setups here they're so good now that we have just a good feel for the market. Feel for the market. No, nothing crazy. Just a standard feel for the market. Things pull back. You're getting good things. We know indicators are lining up, and these things are working. It's becoming more and more of a feel of like, wait for that next good setup. You're just waiting for it.
Right.
You're addicted to the next good thing. Not addicted to the hype, but this even gives you a better feel because you know it's so good. But I appreciate everything you're doing, Max.
Hey, it's fun. I appreciate everything you're doing too. You taught me a lot of my trading. I mean, you have a wonderful educational department in there. I'm sure that the people really don't take advantage of it. Based on all that's in there.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's really the first thing they should be doing is just learning those setups.
It needs dedicated people like you to understand. How. God, there's just so much going on, right? So much opportunities. But there's so many answers out there that you could actually get an edge to this.
What I see, just one more comment.
Yeah.
Is like, I've been with you for, 7 years now or something like that, I think. And the first 5 years, I lost a lot of money. I was really a jerk. But I was trying to get the feeling for micro trading. And I felt if I stuck with it. And I just saw that I had one self-defeating strategy after another. And then last year, I did decent. I had a decent year. And then this year, I did really excellent.
Yeah, I've noticed you come around real fast. Like your curve shot straight up all of a sudden.
It did.
And then the way you started interacting, too, you gained that knowledge. There was a big jump. You jumped the bridge. That was nice. Yeah,
and I'm in another quantum now because now I'm learning the options.
Yeah.
And I'm a math person like that. So to me, the options are kind of on many levels where it's at. But I need more time to really feel it out. The stocks, you have a second chance. If you get a week like this and the market sits still, you can really die in a lot of your options.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't even matter whether your stock doesn't go up or down. You're just wasted.
Yeah.
But, stocks, you have second chance. But then you have all that cash exposure, which I'm not crazy for.
No.
Yeah. But no, it is getting better. It's all coming to me now. I just see the setups now. So you see me every night. I scan.
Yeah.
And so tonight I have a list of 16 stocks. I'll put that up, post all that tomorrow. And I'll look for what looks good through the course of the day.
And we'll look for you to post those in the room.
Yeah, I haven't been posting much lately because it's been very quiet, and I'm kind of like taking some time off.
Yeah.
Because I needed a break. I've worked myself crazy this year. But once January turns around, the volume comes back. I'll start, posting on a more regular basis. I've just been posting a few option trades that I see are really good, like the Starbucks today. It was a great call on those options going in. I also bought some puts on Google, which has gone down. And what else am I in? I rebought some of that. What do you call it? Juno also.
All right.
For a little bit more movement on that.
Yeah, that was
a pull back today.
You called that one good. That was. Let me take a look at that one again. I looked at that thing and that just marched straight up from last week. All right, it was like just a 5-6 days, small little marching upwards, and it was just a rotation every day, just a little further move up. But it
it would go negative and further positive, so it was just like you really could buy and sell it. Yeah. It was a great little scalping thing.
Yeah,
and you have enough volume on there where you can, I had 4,000 shares of that in and out.
Yeah, every time it gapped down or moved down, you bought it, and it just moved right back up to the highs of the session.
It's another thing to look at is when Amazon, I call that the death store now.
Yeah.
Whenever that sets a sign on something, like when they went into the auto industry, that whole sector got knocked down.
Yeah.
But then they bounced right back up. Same thing when they went into the possibly going into foods.
Yeah.
Whole Foods dropped, Costco dropped, and then you have a real opportunity from that. See, it's good to watch what Amazon does when they influence the market like that and wait for those bounces.
Yeah, that was good. You remember when that was? That was in July, right? June, July, right in July, and it really did base out. Now we look back, and it's right back at the highs.
Right? Yeah.
And those opportunities are great. Same thing with Apple.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Taiwanese newspaper all of a sudden said Apple's going to lower their estimates, and it gapped down? It's probably going to move right back up.
Well, Anthony asked me about it yesterday. To me, it was sitting on the 50.
Yeah.
And it was a good risk-reward trade as I saw it. And you had a little movement up on it today.
Yeah, not much going on.
It's hard for me to tell. It's not exactly my kind of trade.
We got some.
I like the pullbacks from new highs. Yep. I think those are your best probabilities, just with a basic stochastic, and then you wait till you really see strength in the stock and appropriate volume in it, and that's your green sign. And then if you get a spike in it, just take your money and run. I like to trade what I see, and I find what a lot of people do is they have an idea of what's going to be, and I never trade an idea of what's going to be. I mean, I do going in, I look at certain things, but once I'm in it, I trade what I see in it. And if I'm wrong, and I just pop out of it. And then 5 minutes later when I see, oh no, that was stupid, I just buy it again. So I'm paying $3 a trade. I don't think about how much it costs to press the button.
Yeah.
I just, and I realize I make mistakes all the time and guess it wrong all the time. So I stay fluid. I think that's partially why I do as well as I do.
Can you pinpoint when you said you were losing money to all of a sudden something snapped, and then was there something that you just like the light bulb went on, and you were able to capture something or maintain something that you started saying this works, I'm going to just stick to it? Was that it?
Gosh, I'll be honest with you. A lot of mornings I sit down and I think, gee, how am I going to make any kind of money today? And then all of a sudden I just find trades.
Yep.
So I don't even know quite, how I get to it. But I have a lot of little crazy stuff that I do that helps me out.
Yeah.
Little tricks I've learned. I have a minder, let's say, with 700 stocks in it. Mm-hmm. And 20 minutes after the open, I'll double-click the minder so all the positives go to the top and the negatives go to the bottom. Mm-hmm. And then an hour later, I'll check the bottom part to see who's coming up, through the ranks.
Yep. I kind of have that on my quote tracker, and you can actually see the ones that are red, but they're hitting new highs. So I get a little green mark on those, and it's kind of like, all right, these got hit, but they're actually making new highs later in the day.
Yeah. So a lot of stocks are tricky the way you trade. So I have 10 monitors, and I post all that stuff in a couple time frames.
10 monitors.
And then I'm very visual. I can see it during the day. So. I run in and out. But for me to make the profits I've made, I've had to lose twice as much money to make as much money as I've made, if that makes any sense to you.
Now it does, yeah.
Okay. So, So I look better than I am, for what gets posted, because, I'll post something. So now I post less so I can post everything, that I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you gotta, it's handling your losses too. That was always my issue. I let my losses run. So I think one of the things that helped me is I put in the 8% rule. If something goes down 8%, I'm in position, I just get rid of it. No matter what I think.
Yeah.
So,
and that gives you enough.
I wish I had a simple answer to give you. I don't.
No, good. Just I think that would have been a gem for newer traders out there that are struggling.
My fantasy is that one day you and I and Anthony would all sit down together and trade for a couple of days and really see how we all work.
Yeah.
I bet you we'd learn a huge amount from each other.
Well,
doing the picks and all of that. Well, I have questions all the time. Is this good? How would you weigh this against that? There's a lot I don't know that you know. So, we all kind of are very individual in our perspectives, and I'm pretty much homegrown, so I don't see myself as like Anthony, to me, on a lot of levels, has a lot more sophistication than I do.
Very, very humble. Very good trader, Robert.
Thanks. My girlfriend wouldn't say that.
She coming up to New York with you?
I don't know. She's like in a bunch of different things that she does.
Is this the same girlfriend I met the last time?
But whether she does or doesn't, I'm going to go.
Good. we'll look forward to it.
Yeah. All right, then.
All right. Well, I want to take a bite to eat. I don't want to chew in your ear.
All right. Keep up the good work, and thank you. Thanks, John. Really.
Robert, thank you, man. Use the phone anytime you can. You have the number.
All right, I do.
It's always open for you.
Good chatting.
All right, man. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Max. Maximillion there checking in. I want to just take a break. I'll play you a couple tunes, but that was a great catch up with Maximillion. Awesome trader. And you get to hear, some little gems there that he's delivering to you. I mean, to see that his trades in the room and see the size he's trading and just kind of hear his background and how he progressed and how he was losing money and then, the type of setups. He gave some really good gems there. If you didn't, you didn't catch them all, I am recording this, so I will save it. We'll put this under in the members forum as a special show because that was definitely worth going there. So let me play a tune, and I'll be right back. I gotta heat up my food. It's gone cold, and I'm starving. And I want to just take a 2-song break here. 2-song break. 2 from Blind Melon. Be right back.
Mathematical